We're talking Misericordia University baseball here on the John Mendola Show at Arcaro and Janelle in Old Forge, the pizza capital of the world. And Pete Egbert is the head coach with us, 7 in a row for you guys in MAC Freedom Conference Championships. And you guys are working hard, and you're a big target. But boy, how do you guys keep doing it?
We do have a big target on our back. I think it's just a tribute to the guys that we bring in. We've established a recruiting base, within 3 hours, and we brought some really talented student athletes into our program, and they buy into what we're doing, and I think it's just fed off of itself.
Year after year, you got to replace guys. Let's talk about the graduating class, and then the new guys coming in.
Sure. Top 2 pitchers graduate from last year. Garrett Pelko and Tim Burek were our 1 and our 2. So we're going to certainly miss them, and our starting left fielder was Jeremy Dakotas, so we need to replace him. Having said that, I like our pitching staff. I think we're as deep as we've been on the mound. We've got a few freshmen that are really going to help us. We've got some returning guys who have gotten a lot better. Our ace is probably going to be Jake Kurtz, who's a returning guy. He actually led the staff in ERA last year, did a phenomenal job for us. But we have a lot of young guys and a mix of some veterans that gives us probably 8 or 9 deep in the starting rotation, which you don't need, so some of those guys are going to have to pitch out of the bullpen, and we're excited about that.
We're in the middle of February of 2018, just about. We're getting closer to that. Where are you at recruiting-wise? You're already on the 19, the 20. I mean, we'll talk about what it's like being a Division III program like yourself, and where the recruiting process is.
Recruiting's really changed in the last 3 to 5 years in terms of student athletes wanting to make decisions earlier and earlier. So we have pretty much our 2018 class in place with a few exceptions. We're still waiting on a few guys to make a decision, and we're starting to work on the 19s and 20s. So that is a little bit different than it was 5 years ago, where we were working on our current class pretty much up until June of their senior year. But now guys want to make decisions earlier and earlier. Division I has certainly gone that way, and then when Division I goes, everybody else trickles, and it follows to the Division III level as well.
When you brought in those new recruits for 2017-18, talk about what you see in the fall with those guys, and then as you get to the gym in January and February, what you're seeing now.
Our approach is a little bit different in that we want to see our new guys play as much as possible. We don't do a lot of coaching in the fall. We really roll the ball out, we split them into 2 teams, and we let them play, and we let them react, we let them feel out what they can and can't do. At this time of year, when we're stuck in the gym and the weather limits us what we can do, then we really start to break down mechanics and teach what we feel is necessary to get them better. A big part of their development actually comes into the off season in terms of them buying into our strength program, and we find that our new guys usually make a jump at this time of year based on the work that they've put in the off season from a strength and conditioning standpoint.
Talk about some of the consistencies that have been there for your program, whether it's assistant coaches have been there a long time, strength training, stuff like that. Facility-wise, we know Misericordia always seems to be making some adaptations to get better, and the majors is always a big lure. So you got a couple of big lures in there, but talk about some of those stable points.
Yeah, we've had an assistant coach who's been our pitching coach now for 8 years, David Gargone, who's done a phenomenal job. So between he and I, that's given some stability to the coaching staff, and then we always seem to have a few young assistants. I'm very fortunate in that many of my young assistants have been guys that have played for me. So they know the system, they know what the expectations are, and they're able to coach and teach to those expectations. On top of that, the administration has been phenomenal. We've had a lot of consistency with our administration. Our athletic director now, Chuck Edkins, has been there for 26 years. And then on top of him, we have vice presidents and deans that have been there for a long time and understand the importance and the role of athletics in a Division III school, in a small school setting like ours. So we do get a lot of support from our administration, which helps us in turn.
On a personal note for you, what is it about Misericordia University that keeps you coming back every year and being a part of such a great tradition that you've built? I'm sure you feel in some way that this is my baby now. We built up a great program, and we would just want to see how far we could actually go.
Yeah, I think more than anything, Misericordia and the people at Misericordia are what attract me and what keeps me coming back. We really do have special people there and people that care about our students and our student athletes. And then on top of that, they really have bought into the role of athletics. There aren't a lot of Division III schools that can truly say that. They want to say that athletics is important, but we put our money where our mouth is, and we really do support our athletics. And if you walk onto our campus, you see our facilities, you you see how well our student athletes are treated. That makes a difference to me. So I just want to be at a place where we have a chance to be successful, and Misericordia absolutely gives us that chance.
Offense, defense, it takes a lot to win all those championships. What are you thinking right now? Is it way too early to tell what this team's going to be about for this season?
It is, and it's always different. We have a vision going into the season, what we think is going to happen, then it always changes 10 games in and 20 games in. But traditionally our staff, our team has been built on pitching and defense, and we feel like if we can pitch and defend, those are games we're going to have a chance to win. Having said that, I think our offense is better than it's been. I'm looking for some surprises out of our offense. I think we've taken a little bit of a different approach offensively to try and make some strides, and our hitters are starting to buy in, so I'm excited about that.
Recruiting-wise, we keep going back to this, I know, and talk about the type of player you're getting nowadays, and you mentioned a little bit about that whole how it's Division III has changed, but after winning 7 in a row, are you feeling like you're getting some of those guys that maybe would be a 2 or a 1AA, or a kid who say, hey, listen, I want to play close to home, maybe I'd be a stretch at a 1?
Yeah, and that's happened to us where we are getting guys who are being recruited by Division I and Division II schools, and their decision is, to potentially accept a scholarship or a roster spot with a Division I or a Division II, or come to Misericordia. They know they're going to get a good education. They probably feel like they have a chance to play a little bit earlier. So we are getting some of those guys, and that's the constant battle. We're looking for the same things that the Division I schools are looking. We're looking for athleticism. We're looking for guys who have arm strength, who can run, who can play multiple positions. So we're looking for the same types of players that they're looking for, and now we're starting to get a little bit more response from those guys, and more of those guys are coming to campus and staying engaged with us longer. We're going to need a few of those guys in order to make the difference and in order to make that next jump in our program for sure. So we feel like hopefully we're moving in that direction.
One of the questions we always hear, or the answers we hear from the coaches, the question posed is the athletic program overall at Misericordia, and you kind of hit on a little bit with Chuck Adkins at the helm, but everybody seems so supportive. So, the women's soccer players will maybe come check out the baseball team, or the football team will go over and see what the track and field team's about. And there's really a lot of student athletes at Misericordia, and we're seeing a lot more success on various levels and all around.
It feeds itself, it really does. 40% of the incoming students are there to play a sport in one way or another, and athletics is very well supported, but the student athletes support one another. I joke with people, this might be the only college or high school place in the country where the lacrosse and the baseball teams get along. Usually those two are at conflict, but this really is a place where it is supported. For a small school, our football games are well attended, our basketball games are well attended. When you get nice days in the spring sports, the games are well attended. But even off the field, all the student athletes are studying together, taking classes together, supporting each other in events outside of athletics and outside of academics, which I think is important as well. And that's happened throughout the board, across the board. We have 25 sports now, and they all do support one another.
It's great to sit down with you and have a conversation when the season gets going. I know you're as busy as anybody, but you do such a tremendous job, Pete, and we appreciate your time. Best of luck this season.
John, thanks for having me. I enjoyed it.
We're with Jacob Kurtz from the Misericordia University baseball program here in the John Mendola Show. And, Jacob, you are a senior?
Senior, redshirt junior.
But the redshirt junior, I like that part, that you're thinking about one more year.
Oh, I'm definitely thinking about one more year at this point. Yep.
You're a pitcher, and that's one of the strengths Coach is talking about this year. Tell me a little bit about what you think the pitching staff will look like.
Right now, we're looking pretty young. We definitely have a lot of freshmen, and we definitely have a lot of guys that didn't get to see much experience last year, but we have 4 or 5 guys, Elliott Ford, Zach Mason, and a bunch of Mike Turton. He's coming back this year after an injury, so we should definitely be pretty good in bullpen and starting rotation. So as for myself, we'll see myself anywhere in the starting rotation, hopefully.
Righty or lefty?
Righty.
Talk about what kind of pitches you throw.
I kind of throw a little bit of heat on our team, so I throw pretty hard upper 80s fastball, pretty sharp 11.5 curveball / slider sometimes, depending on what it wants to be, and I'm developing a changeup right now.
How about the health-wise?
Health-wise,
right now you feel as good as you've been?
Right now I'm feeling pretty good right now. I'm coming off of a groin injury that sent me back over the summer, but I should be good to go coming this spring, so we'll see.
Jacob, let's talk a little bit about your brother Micah.
My brother Micah, he's 15 years old. He's a tennis player in the Philadelphia Public School League. He's killing it right now. He was ranked 4th or 5th in the entire city last year for public schools, and hopefully he will do the same, if not better, this year.
Let's talk about a couple role models in your life, your parents and Coach Egbert.
Yeah, so my parents, they've been through thick and thin with me. They've helped me through some serious ruts that I've been through in my life. And as for Coach Egbert, I mean, he's really pulled me out of the gutter too. Freshman year, I had a rough emotional time, and he just pulled me out and just kind of kept my head up and showed me that, I mean, baseball's the way to go right now.
Family at Misericordia University, you talk about your teammates and,
Yeah.
and maybe some of your classmates. What's it been like for you?
In terms of like chemistry with my teammates, it's been pretty good. I think we're still learning about each other the more and more we practice and just be around each other. As for the student body and just the rest of the athletes, they definitely support us and everything that we do, and we try and support them doing like on-campus activities and whatnot, depending on what it is, you know.
Goals going forward for you with baseball this year? What are you looking forward to?
Hopefully just trying to keep the numbers I had last year, come off the spring strong, and work into a very competitive summer down in the Coastal Plains League with the Lexington Blowfish.
All right.
Yeah.
Go get them with Lexington after your season at Misericordia. We appreciate your time and wish you the best.
Thank you.
Stephen Weissensee joining us from the Misericordia University baseball team here on the John Mendola Show. It's your junior year, so let's talk a little bit about what you think your contributions will be this season.
Last year I stepped into a starting role after my freshman year as being a role player. I expect to do much the same this year and just help the team win any way I can.
All these championships in a row, do you guys feel the pressure right now?
I mean, we know we have a target on our back, but for the most part, it's just going out and doing the same thing we've done in the past and going about our business the right way.
What have you seen early on here in the gym from the group?
We've seen a lot of freshmen that have a lot of capabilities. We knew we had a good portion of our lineup returning from last year, so we knew that any help that we got was just extra, and we've been pretty surprised with this freshman class. There's a lot of talent.
Well, let's talk about what you do in the summer.
This summer I'll be heading down to Maryland, play with the Baltimore Rays. Just a better opportunity with the summer league. Obviously the experience will be great. Might be looking for an internship while I'm there, but for the most part it's just about going somewhere else and continuing to play a sport I love.
You got a brother, Robert? Tell us a little bit about him.
Yeah, he goes to Gettysburg College. He runs track. He does indoor track, outdoor track, and cross country. So he's a runner, biomedical engineer major. So he's quite the studious one.
Yes,
Family.
yes, he is. You're just a business guy, right?
Yeah, business.
Tell us a little bit about what you hope to do with the business degree.
Well, I'm going for sport management, and then after college I'm planning on doing an MBA and fulfilling a full background of business, specialized in sport, and then just staying around sports as long as I can.
Well, good luck with the competition with the brother with that, huh?
Yeah, exactly.
Let's talk about some of the role models in your life.
Parents, obviously, both of them have always pushed me to keep playing baseball and just do well in school. And then obviously Coach Egbert, he's been a great role model since I've came for 2.5 years and continuing on for my 4 years, obviously. Just looks for us to do education first and then obviously take care of our business on the sports end, but he definitely looks after us and cares about how we do in life.
Is it hard to kind of hone in on the starters for Misericordia right now? There's just so many guys and so many guys fighting and pushing each other for positions. You said a lot of young guys in there now.
Yeah, I think that's one thing that's the strength of our team. There's nobody who's trying to inhibit anybody else from taking a starting spot. I think we realize that whoever does the job the best is going to be the one who plays, and I think that actually helps us. There's no hard feelings if someone's spot gets taken. It's just if you're better, then you're better.
Well, we wish you the best of luck this season, and thanks for telling us your story.
Thank you very much.
Kenny Jarema with us from Misericordia University baseball program here on the John Mendola Show. And Kenny, let's talk about what your role is this year.
I'll be a third baseman this year. Last year I was actually shortstop, so I'll be moving over to third base. Hopefully I'll even get some pitch time on the mound pitching, and yeah.
Starter
probably.
or reliever?
As of now, a reliever, but maybe hopefully a starter. I got a fastball, a curveball, and a changeup, 12-6 curveball, so I like to keep the hitters off balance, and yeah, so.
How about this year's team? Talk about some of the strengths that you see. I know we talked pitching, but how about infield, outfield, at the plate?
Yeah, this year we're focusing a lot more on power, so hopefully we can get some more doubles, triples, home runs, get some more runs. So yeah.
Let's talk about your major there at Misericordia, sports management.
Sport management. Yeah, hopefully I can get a degree there, and I want to be a scout actually for baseball. I don't think I could leave the game I've loved for 20 years. I've loved it, so yeah, definitely scouting hopefully.
That sounds pretty cool. Let's talk about your older brother Jeff, what he's up to.
My brother Jeff, 25 years of age now. He went to Penn State. He played baseball in high school, but he wasn't looking to play in college, so he just went for school, and now he's working with my dad in a computer software company up by my house in Downingtown, Pennsylvania.
Sounds like a pretty good gig.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the summer league, where you plan on playing and where at.
Last year I played with the Chillicothe Mudcats in Missouri, which is a good travel team. I had a lot of fun there, so I want to travel again this year, and hopefully I'm playing with in Virginia with the Stroudsburg Express, good college baseball team down in Virginia.
Some role models in your life. Talk about who makes you a better person.
My mom and my dad, definitely. My mom and dad have been very influential my whole life. They've always been there for me, always wanted to go to all my games, always been driving me, always been best role models ever.
Kenny, great to hear your story, and we wish you well 8 championships
Hopefully,
possible this year. I hope you guys can pull it off.
Hopefully in regional championship too.
All right, good luck.
Thank you.